First with breaking news. First with new information. Plus, your first alert forecast. 19 News starts now.
We are live at Rocket Arena ahead of a monumental night for the Cavaliers. A win tonight, and the Cavaliers roll into the Eastern Conference Finals against the New York Knicks. Hi, everyone. Welcome inside here to Rocket Arena. Nicole is off today. The Cavs have been absolutely on fire in the last 3 games of this series. Do you realize they've won 3 games in a row in this series? They have. They were down 0-2. Detroit, however, will not go down without a fight tonight. This should be a heck of an NBA playoff basketball game. We'll have team coverage all afternoon as we get set for that tip that comes at about 7 o'clock tonight. Now, though, let's send it inside to Sarah Goldenberg with the rest of the big stories of the day. Sarah.
Thank you, Brian. And we have breaking news on that plane crash in Akron. 2 people killed during a training flight. The NTSB gave us an update moments ago, and Brittany Weir is live with what she's learned. Brittany.
Yes, Sarah, Aaron McCarter, who is an investigator with NTSB, just finished a press conference giving us new information about that deadly plane crash here in Akron yesterday afternoon. He described this scene here behind us as catastrophic. It's something he doesn't really see normally in his investigations, but he did share that 2 people on board the plane who did die. One was a certified flight instructor. The other one was the owner of the plane. But this is what the scene looked like yesterday. As you see, the entire side of the house is destroyed and burnt after that plane exploded, debris covering the driveway, the yard, and that plane is still here on scene. We're told that crews are on their way here to take that plane over to Akron Fulton Airport so that investigators can continue their investigation and gather that information. They said that they did speak to several witnesses today and learning new information, and that something impacted that airplane that caused it to kind of spiral out of the sky and then fall crashing into that house. They say wind might have been a factor, but this is still a very preliminary investigation. Take a listen.
During the second approach, they overflew the runway, and during that time, something upset the aircraft, and the aircraft was seen by credible witnesses and doorbell cameras spiraling out of the sky from about 1,000 feet, where it impacted the road behind me and subsequently struck the house.
And they said a big factor here today was those doorbell cameras. We've shown you that footage that shows the moments when the plane goes into the house and then the people inside running for their lives. Like we said, thankfully, all 3 of the people, a father and his children and the dog, they did make it out safely. The investigator from NTSB did tell us that a preliminary report should be available within a week to 10 days. But then that final report, that will take an entire year to be released. So it's still going to be some time until we officially can say what caused that plane to crash here yesterday afternoon. Now, we are waiting for that crew to get here on scene and take the plane away from the home. But once that happens, we will bring you updates. But for now, live in Akron, Brittany Weir, 19 News.
Thank you, Brittany. And 19 News with continuing coverage on this story as more information becomes available from the FAA. Everywhere at 5, Keith Grant is also in Akron with team coverage. He has details on the weather and its possible impact on the crash.
Now your 19 First Alert forecast. Certified most accurate since 2004.
All right, back here at Rocket Arena, Brian Duffy and 19 First Alert meteorologist Erica Page. We were talking earlier, it's going to be a big night down here, right? The Cavs are playing Guardians. They're celebrating the 2016 team that went to the World Series. They should have a big crowd. There'll be people coming downtown just to be part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
So people moving around downtown, it's going to be pretty nice for them.
It is. And, you know, I think it's kind of nice given the fact that we've had some pretty chilly nights as of late. So the fact that we're kind of turning this pattern around, is perfect, especially when you get ready for a big weekend here in Cleveland as well. Let's kind of walk you through what we are tracking through the rest of this evening, because again, it is going to be beautiful. We have a little bit more cloud cover that's rolled in over the last couple of hours, but that is not going to be cloud cover that brings you a rain chance. Tomorrow it might, but it's not going to ruin any evening plans that you have. New data, though, we're going to talk about this a lot more, especially with the storm chance that's coming together as we get into your Saturday. One or two of those storms could try and get a little bit stronger, a bit more organized, so that is something we're going to keep a close eye on, and I'll walk you through where that data stands now. But we're also talking about warmer weather, finally, as we step a little bit closer to the weekend. We'll talk about how warm we're going to get through the next couple of days and when, well, we may return to more seasonable weather, all coming up here in just a few minutes.
And there's my baby on the ground, face down. He was hit by a car. And I started saying, "That's my son." And I said, "Is he dead?"
Heartbreak of a mother. Her son taken from her in the early morning hours on Wednesday. Police are still investigating the hit and run. Colton Molesky has the family's side of the story.
This is the area where that tragic hit and run happened. Now his family still searching for answers.
I started running towards it and the cop stopped me. He said, "You can't go over there. Let them check him. Let's see if he's okay, if he's breathing." And 2 minutes later, they covered him.
33-year-old Lars Biederman's mother, Juliet Peterson, says he was walking down Aurora Road early Wednesday morning. Biederman was going from where he worked at Uptown Ultra Sports Lounge in Bedford Heights to a nearby gas station where his mother was set to pick him up. When he did not show up, she got worried.
I don't want a copy.
911 calls that brought Bedford Heights police. Here are shots of the truck police are now looking for, and footage from the department showing the driver zip down the road.
The person left. They left him there. If it truly was an accident, why didn't you stop?
His family asking gut-wrenching questions they still don't have answers to. Most importantly, if the driver stopped to get help, could he have been saved?
Boom, he's gone. He's gone.
The family is now fundraising online for Biederman's memorial. Police are now asking anyone with information to contact the Bedford Heights Department.
I will not stop. I will find who did this to my child, and you will answer for why you did not try to help.
I've reached out to the BHPD for an update. As we learn more from police on the investigation, we'll update you. In Bedford Heights, Colton Molesky, 19 News.
Now your 19 First Alert traffic update.
If you're about to be heading west on 76 from Mahoning into Portage County, your drive is going to be more than a half hour longer than usual. I need to first alert you to this crash again on 76 westbound. That's at 534. That's right into Mahoning County over by Craig Beach. But this is impacting drivers all the way into our viewing area, Portage County, for a 9-mile stretch. And in this 9-mile stretch where drivers currently are, they're going just 10 miles per hour, which means if you're about to be heading that way, your drive is going to be at least 35 minutes longer than usual. But we also have some major slowdowns because of the emergency repairs shutting down the freeway of the Jennings Freeway northbound. And that goes from 480 to Denison Avenue. So if you're about to be heading north, you're going to be seeing some slowdowns on 77. Giving yourself at least an extra 15 minutes will help you if you're going to be heading downtown.
President Trump's summit with China's leader appears to have stabilized relations between the two countries and yielded a few deals. But some issues that impact U.S. consumers don't seem to be resolved. Karen Caifa is in Washington with a look at what the summit meant for your wallet.
President Donald Trump winding down face-to-face meetings with Chinese President Xi Jinping on Friday.
We've settled a lot of different problems that other people wouldn't have been able to settle. And the relationship is a very strong one.
China's foreign minister described the meeting as historical. And Trump, who traveled with a delegation of American CEOs, touted a number of trade deals, though specifics were sparse. After last year's escalating tariff tit-for-tat between the two countries, Trump said tariffs were not discussed.
We didn't discuss tariffs. I mean, they're paying tariffs. They're paying substantial tariffs, but we didn't discuss it.
The summit brought hope Trump might encourage Xi to help resolve the Iran conflict, which has sent global oil prices soaring. China is a close diplomatic partner of Iran.
We might not be able to really assess how productive this summit was for a couple of months.
Trump returns to ongoing economic pressures at home related to the Iran war. Government data released this week showed inflation outpacing increases in wages and higher fuel costs pushing consumer and wholesale prices higher.
Fuel touches every part of food, even from fertilizer that's stuck over in the Strait of Hormuz right now,
Pressure on prices signaling a potentially rocky road ahead for incoming Federal Reserve Chairman Kevin Warsh, as Friday marked the end of Jerome Powell's term in the role. Powell faced frequent attacks from President Trump, who accused the Fed chair of not lowering interest rates quickly enough. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
All right, Erica Page returns in just a couple of minutes with Cleveland's most accurate forecast. The marathon is this weekend. For some, it's a tradition. For others, it's a first, the Cleveland Marathon. And runners are checking in downtown. First at 4, Isabella Roberts has our story.
The starting gun hasn't fired yet, but downtown Cleveland is absolutely electric. Thousands of runners coming to the convention center today to check in, grab their bibs and shirts, and prepare for this weekend's festivities. Months of training, early mornings, long miles, and it all comes down to this weekend. Cleveland Marathon Ambassador Jen Boerwinkle says the energy here is unlike anything else.
It sets the city alive. It's like everybody's out, everybody's excited, everybody's cheering.
13,000 runners are registered for this weekend's Cleveland Marathon, and Boerwinkle is one of the first faces they see.
As an ambassador, I get one of the coolest jobs, which is doing packet pickup.
She's helping runners like Dan Mitchin get ready for the big day. For Mitchin, Sunday will be his very first marathon.
Yeah, very, very nervous. I've been training. I run about 40 to 50 miles a week.
But Mitchin says the energy here is contagious, and Boerwinkle agrees.
It travels right into race day, right into the corrals, right at the start line. And it doesn't stop until you cross the finish line.
Mitchin will have his wife and 2 kids cheering him on Sunday, and he says that motivation goes beyond the finish line.
I'm excited. That's what I want to try to set that good example for my kids and show them what hard work means. I don't think they fully know what 26 miles entails, but they'll understand someday.
The 5 and 10K take place Saturday. The half and full marathon get underway Sunday morning at 7 on St. Clair. Boerwinkle says you don't have to run to be part of the action.
Come cheer at the races. Even if you don't run, it's really awesome to see some people do some great things this weekend. So come out and cheer.
Several roads will be closed due to the races this weekend. For a full list, head to our website, cleveland19.com. In Cleveland, Isabella Roberts, 19 News.
Brent and West Texas crude oil prices are fluctuating a bit higher, both over $100 a barrel. As for gas, AAA reports the average price of regular is about $4.53 a gallon. It's $4.59 here in the state of Ohio. With the help of Gas Buddy, we're looking for the cheapest gas all around our area. It's $4.20 at the Mapco in Greene on Massillon Road, $4.25 at the Meyer in Brimfield, that is on Talmadge Road, and $4.34 at the Circle K on Miles Road, that is in Warrensville Heights. A 19 recall alert now. Zwilling and Finergy electric kettle. The handle can loosen and separate from the kettle, causing hot water to spill. Over 113,000 of these were sold in the U.S. Contact the company for a refund.
Now your 19 first alert forecast.
On some
certified
rain
most accurate since 2004.
And storms, we could have that. 19 first alert meteorologist Erica Page is here. And quite the warm-up coming, too.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit gradual, especially headed into tonight. So if you're coming downtown for the Cavs game, just kind of keep in mind it's going to be pleasant, but not necessarily toasty like it will be headed into the weekend. Let's walk you through this forecast because, again, temperatures over the next several hours are going to basically stay into the 60s. So if you are coming to the Cavs game, or maybe you're headed to the Guardians game, regardless, you're going to be talking about a mid-temperature kind of into that 60-degree range and then dropping, I think, lower 60s 60s, kind of at the coldest as you head into the rest of this evening. Eventually, we will get a little bit colder tonight. We are tracking, though, more summer-like conditions headed into the next couple of days, and that does include some mid-70s on tap for tomorrow, lower 80s for Sunday, but an increasing opportunity that we could see a few showers and storms once we get into, I would say, the heart of tomorrow afternoon and potentially even into the early part of the evening. So please keep that in mind for any outdoor activities that you might have. Let's walk you through where some of the new data stands with your future view. So you'll notice this is 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. If you're up early, I know we've got the 5K, the 10K for the Cleveland Marathon that's running tomorrow morning. Right now, temperatures seem to be kind of in that lower 60-degree range and dry for the most part. I do think, though, the later you get through the morning, headed into the early afternoon, we're going to start to see at least a few spotty showers and storms. Does that mean everybody's going to see it through the morning? No, but I think gradually as you go through tomorrow, later in the day, as that temperature heats up, you're going to see more opportunities for a few rain opportunities and even a few rumbles of thunder. So again, just keep that in mind. One or two of those storms could have some gustier winds in the mix, and then things should quiet down for us as we head into the evening. Now, headed into the overnight, you're going to get a little cloud cover. You're possibly even going to get a little bit of fog to develop, but then it's Sunday that the heat really starts to build in. We'll talk about by how much coming up here in the next half hour.
Now, your top 4 at 4. The investigation continues into the fiery plane crash in Akron during a training flight. It was breaking yesterday at this time. A neighbor shared doorbell camera of the tragedy in their neighborhood, hitting the road, then slamming into a home and bursting into flames. Sadly, both people on board, the instructor and pilot owner, were killed. Their names have not been released. A reminder, northbound lanes on Jennings Freeway remain closed. That's from 480 to West 14th. Emergency repairs are needed. The thick concrete piece on top of the bridge piers helps support the roadway. They're letting some local traffic in, but only entering from Spring Road and exiting at Dennison Avenue. They expect the freeway to be closed through mid-June. This is the charred remains of a barn in New Franklin. Investigators believe a lawnmower parked in the barn shortly after being used started the fire. Crews were called to Benner Road just after noon yesterday. Firefighters had to deal with strong winds to keep it from spreading to other buildings nearby. There are no fire hydrants in that area. Crews had to bring water tankers to the scene. For the first time ever, a U.S. Navy ship will be commissioned right here in Ohio. This is a look inside the USS Cleveland. The ship carries a crew of about 90 sailors, and it's loaded with Cleveland pride. The hallways are named after city streets, and a massive mural on board pays tribute to the city. This is the last ship of its kind to ever be commissioned. Tomorrow's ceremony starts at 10 in the morning. A new Supreme Court ruling restores access to the abortion pill mifepristone by mail in every state while litigation continues. Louisiana had sued to block shipments directly to patients, arguing the FDA wrongly approved telehealth prescriptions during the pandemic. According to the abortion tracking project WeCount, more than a quarter of all abortions in the U.S. happen through telehealth. Every year, roughly 100,000 people are mailed abortion pills in the 13 states with total bans.
For right now, nothing changes. So you can still get mifepristone prescribed online and mailed to you. The court has said while these cases, and it's not just this one case, while this case works through the courts, access remains the way it has been.
2 drug companies that manufacture mifepristone asked the Supreme Court to put on hold a lower court ruling that reinstated the in-person requirement. The companies argue that ruling would cause confusion and says the drug is proven to be safe and effective. Breaking at this hour, what's being called a mass casualty incident at a Maine lumber mill. There was an explosion and fire. You can see the massive flames at Robbins Lumber. 11 people were hurt, and the cause of the fire is unknown. Also breaking, a judge declared a mistrial in Harvey Weinstein's rape retrial. The jury is deadlocked. The former Hollywood mogul was convicted of other sex crimes and remains behind bars. The mistrial leaves the New York rape charge in limbo after 3 trials. A Manhattan jury weighed whether Weinstein raped a woman in a New York hotel in 2013. Defense lawyers argued it was consensual.
All right, it's getting closer now. Cavs can close out Detroit with a win tonight here at the arena, and you'll never guess maybe who's been a big part of this. Let's go down to the floor. Ashley Holder.
Yeah, guys, listen, it's James Harden who has come up short time after time again in the playoffs, but the last 3 games he has been fantastic. Kobe Altman said when Harden got here that he gives them a real good chance of having success in the playoffs, and he is not wrong. That's exactly what is happening right now. His 21 points a game in this series is not surprising. We all know that Harden could score, but would you believe that he's leading the team in minutes played, also in assists, and even steals? We don't love the turnovers, but that's not a bad trade-off considering everything else he's doing, all at the age of 36. And it's pretty clear that in just 31 games as a Cavs, he's won over the locker room.
Never wavered. He has a bad game, good game. You can't even tell. So I think his mentality, he's seen so much, been through so many of these series. He's a heck of a leader.
He's really locked in right now. Every single game, he's ready to go. That just speaks to his professionalism, why he's in the league for this long, why he's doing what he's doing at this age. He's one of the greats.
Pro is pro. He shows up every single day. He puts amount of work in. You don't become one of the best players the game has ever seen without showing up every single day. I think that's one thing that I've noticed from him is the consistency, whether that's in the weight room, whether that's in taking care of your body, whether that's in getting shots up. He's a Hall of Famer in that regard, and that's why he is who he is, because he consistently puts in the work.
And tonight marks playoff game 186 for James Harden. And here's another pretty cool note that we can leave the night on. The last time that the Cavs won a game, have not lost a game, at home with Harden in the lineup since March 15th, and that was 51 days ago. On the floor, Ashley Holder, 19 News, will send it back up to you.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed?
They made the ultimate sacrifice for you and me. Today, 4 fallen officers were honored for their service. First at 4, Katie Tursek with how their fellow brothers and sisters in blue came to support the families they left behind.
That is the sound of a promise kept. Hundreds of officers from Northeast Ohio marched down Lakeside Avenue, a somber remembrance for the 41st Annual Police Memorial Parade. At the end of the march, the Greater Cleveland Peace Officers Memorial, and 4 names that will never be forgotten. Lorraine Patrolman Philip C. Wagner, State Troopers William J. Keller and Nicholas P. Caton, and Cleveland Police Officer Jamison Ritter. Earlier this week, his badge number 1176 was retired by the department forever.
The officers we remember today were more than police officers. They were sons and daughters, husbands and wives, mothers and fathers, friends, partners, and loved ones. And while today we mourn their loss, families carry that loss for a lifetime.
One voice captured what so many families feel. That voice, just 16 years old, Kaylee Patton, knows this pain all too well. Her father, Cleveland Heights police officer Thomas Patton II, died in the line of duty in 2010. She was just a baby.
Even though I did not get the chance to truly know him myself, I feel like I know him through the stories people tell me. Everyone who knew my dad would describe him in the same way.
Kaylee left the crowd with one important message.
But I've also realized that he is here, and people never forgot about him.
A message she will continue to tell forever. In Cleveland, Kate Tursek, 19 News.